Pedro. All these gang members banded together in my comment section and attacked me. Nah, seriously, I had every homegirl from Rancho San Pedro in my comment section coming out like cholas from Mi Vida Loca. I had La Whispers in there, La Chona was in there, La Vieja Caliente was in there, Miss Dicky Draws. Everybody disrespected me. And the cold part about it was this. I looked at some of those women's profile page and a lot of them had children. And what I didn't seem to understand is that they were mad because my facts came from online news media outlets that they didn't care to research and do. But they were more mad that I'm talking about their homegirls, their neighborhood, their homies that were smoked out, tweaked out, beaten off at a Motel 6 and getting caught up. So what's
YouTube Yard was good, October 17th. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to get this in as soon as possible. Right before I'm heading out, I got 2 hours before I got to get to O'Hare. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do somewhat of a reaction to Gunners Collective. Skinner just did a video on J-Lame, the one who gave me the idea to change the content up a little bit and start milking these pesetas for verbal crimes committed against shit they should not be talking about. Look, what I'm doing here is just a change, just a different style. It's been done before. Plenty of content creators in this bubble have done something similar. I'm only picking up where they left off. It is what it is. Hey man, these pesetas make money off of telling false stories, lying about shit, putting on a persona that they were a badass in prison when they were just average at best. And then you got butthurt over here, Peseta J. This motherfucker right here is just out of control and he cannot be stopped. And I just want that to be known. I saw a video, Ronnie, respect to him, this guy said he wanted to try to hurt fucking the current king of the PCs, John. That's not going to happen. These pesetas ain't going nowhere. They've built a fan base, bro. It's just not going to happen. And let's not pretend that it's going to happen. But what we can do is implement the view taxation, green light on them. And that's fucking milk them for views, bro. Milk them for views. At some point, I got to say and justify how I just won't talk about my history anymore. I've done enough. It's in my videos. It's there. Maybe I could do something to explain it short, maybe an intro, I don't know. But I want to get this out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and I showed you one clip. I'm going to go ahead and show you another clip. Check this out.
I was just intrigued by the lifestyle. I used to grow up watching, Tales from the Hood. I grew up watching Mi Vida Loca, Blood In and Blood Out. And the gangs were in my streets. My mom did her best to keep me away from it.
Interesting. So, looks like he grew up watching LA gangbang culture. Southsider, as the word I like to use to describe an area of Southern California. Looks like he was really impressed by the Southern California Cholo lifestyle. I come from that era. I had Frisco's, Ben Davis. We all did. It just was normal. But sounds like this guy, it made an impression on this guy. It sounds like maybe, I don't know. Maybe he wanted to be a Southsider or not. I get that, how they blended the styles. Let's take a look at another clip.
So man, it's not all like what you think it is to be. But I took it a whole different route. Like I was watching Blood In and Blood Out, America Me. I was like, man, I want to be that person one day. As ignorant as it sounds, I was like, I want to be that person. I want to be the big homie. So I did everything I could within my power to try to make a name for myself.
Excuse me, man, I'm still under the weather, so I'm doing my best. And excuse me for the nasal issue. You wanted to be a big homie, huh? Well, you failed, bro. You wanted to be known. Well, I'd say you failed. You're known as a peseta. We'll get into more of your story. You're known now as, right now, technically, I know you as the warlord of the PCs, baby. The one who's unafraid to say the names that I've never heard of. Fictional to me, but you say names, and you say the names for a reason, and you use certain language against these names for a reason. Your story is tragic, but now this has been an honest PC. So, this is where I like to apply PC sympathy. He was honest from the gate. His status, he was honest. He said what he was. But we've watched him transform into something completely different now, and that's the warlord of the PCs, because he's angry, and you can see it in his demeanor now. You know, this is 3 years ago. Now he's bitter. He's a troll. I want the YouTube yada to understand there's many types of trolls. There's troll content. There's layers to trolls. I'm a troll, right? I've said it. I own it, okay? This is different. What he does is different. It's rage baiting. It's anger that he feels towards the people he talks about. And this has been said before. I know it has. I've seen some shit before, right? I think it's what everybody feels when they watch this dude. You know, there's no ethics. He's hurt, and this is his way to get back. It's to troll all these people that don't exist that he's talking about, to make them upset, to poke at them, to say, He's a troll on the internet, which is why he should be milked for views. It's what others have done and are doing, and I'm doing. It's the only way you can turn the tables back on this piece of shit. Because, bro, nobody cares about this dude or people like him. You know, nobody's going to waste time on this individual. It's not even worth it. What, you know, the person who unalive Savage, what is he, where's he at? It's not even worth it, dude. Wasting time on these fucking pesetas. What is worth it is making fun of them and use their tactics against them. Troll tactics. Let's take a look at another
Asian influence there. I know there's Africanos that are there in Tulare County, not as much so per se as Raza, but what was the atmosphere? Was it hardcore gangbanging, or was it just here and there, or catch you slipping, or what was the scene?
It was hardcore gangbanging for Tulare, because Tulare had wicked ass Sureños, and they were deep, and honestly they weren't punks, and they had the Trejo brothers. You know, Matthew Sanchez was turned up. I mean, these kids really took gangbanging to heart, so they gave us a fight. They gave us a run for our money. But it wasn't until
respectfully to any should anybody watch this from the Northern Territory, I've always felt that maybe there's more animosity that they have for us than we have for them, because in LA, you know, it's nothing but what it is. I got a story I'm gonna tell. I lived in Sacramento for a year, Watt and Whitney. I used to work in Rancho Cordova. I'm gonna tell that story, and it'll be a later video. Southsiders are now, they're known as upstaters. Back in the 90s, I didn't even know that term didn't exist. Upstaters. So I mean, it is what it is, you know. So you can tell, obviously, man, there is a little bit of probably resentment there. But in this interview, he talks about a lot of red on red, and that was interesting. You know, that was interesting for me to watch, because, you know, not growing up in Northern California, I always had to imagine that there would be red on red. Let's watch another clip.
Close-knit car, which trips me out that a lot of these cities gangbanged on each other and went at it, had animosity because they were so close of a ranfla. Like Tulare County always had their own stilo. One thing I could say about Tulare County, maybe you could express it and explain it to me, because I've always wanted to ask someone from Tulare County, what was the difference? Whereas in the Bay Area, there's a certain stilo, low hyphy, a little urban. You go further in the Central Valley, it gets a little bit more cholo, like in Merced, yet we still had that flavor. Whereas in Tulare County, it was more cholo, that old lowrider, suspenders, Dickies, Benz. Was there a lot of that? Did you see a lot of that growing up?
Yeah. You believe it or not, a lot of my brothers out here on the streets, we were stuck on the interstate pants and the corduroys. We loved the Ben Davis. We were adopting a lot of the LA style, but mixing it with a lot of the Northern California flavor. Yeah. But in reality, as all the fighting, it doesn't matter. That was still our style, because we felt like to the homies up north back in the day, we were considered down south. So that's where we adopted the style. Like, well, we're going to act like we're from down south, but we're still up north to the south, but we're still Central Valley. We're the Valle. So we're going to just adopt our style. Like, no, we're not going to represent up north. You won't hear a lot of homies from Tulare County say they're from Northern California.
That's it, from the Valle.
Fascinating. it's a learning experience for me. This interview was to see some of the inner thinkings of, you know, the Northern Territory, some inner politics there, huh? Regional, Central Valley to the Bay Area. I get it. LA does the same thing, right? I'm from the West Side. There's East LA, Compton, Wasta Harbor area. We know this. That's interesting to see. So there, you could kind of see a little bit divide with this guy, always with the divide. Wait till you see what he goes to jail for the first time. Let's take a look at another clip.
The homies from Northern California didn't look at us a certain way. They didn't look at us like we were part of them, and the Southerners looked at us like we were from up north. So we had to mix both styles and come together with something that belonged to ourselves that was unique. And I started getting involved little by little, but I also started using drugs. So I wasn't paying too much attention to the street regimens. That's when my boy Steven Mraz and David Coronado, they used to always be on my bumper. They used to be like, bro, you're messing up, bro. You're not following the rules. But I didn't know nothing about no rules, because in YA I wasn't following rules. I was taught to be like rebellious and just stick up for myself.
Absolutely.
And then I wound up going back for I shot a school bus with a 20 gauge single shot, threw the gun. Think the homies pick up the gun. So
fascinating. Well, I don't know, man. Southern California, you go to jail for shooting at a school bus, bro. You might catch the blues, and where you're from. Interesting, but you know, hey, man, come on. There's been people from all over this country that have done some stupid crimes, and there's been innocent lives lost, right? But that just goes to show you what type of crash out this motherfucker really is, huh? Interesting. This was an interesting video. I never knew this existed. I had to go on a deep dive. And lo and behold, man, it was there, you know? Shout out to Skinner, man. You know, the big difference between Skinner, an admitted dropout SNY, compared to this renegade media. Again, go watch Skinner's video he did on this guy just today. You know, interesting subject. Well, let's keep going. Let's take a further look at the mind of the PC, the warlord.
Like me, like, no, you need to report to me. The Californians like, no, you need to report to us. That's not their jurisdiction.
You were stuck in between that state Fed faction beef. Yeah.
Well, that was one of the charges that got me removed, is because I was freelancing, because I didn't know who to report to. And I talked to Chente that had the streets of Salinas at the time.
Monterey County, yeah.
Monterey. I talked to him and he was like, look, let me get back at you. I just got out here. I'm barely getting into the workings of it. I'll get back at you. Bubbles was already getting caught up. So Bubbles like, bro, I really can't answer you right now. I got my own problems going on. Just figure it out. Got figure it out. I was like, damn, bro, like, who do I turn to? So I asked this sleeper, I'm like, who do I talk to, bro? Like, who do I report to so that way I'm not freelancing? He goes, well, the homies in Arizona and the feds are telling me to write to them. That's where I just came from, but I'm under California jurisdiction, so I still have to report. I still have to go to the shoe. So I got stuck in a bind. Like, well, nobody's gonna tell me nothing, bro. Then I'm just gonna continue to run the program how I see fit until further notice, till somebody finally reaches and say no.
Interesting. So this dude again got scored, cast aside by his own mistakes. He got removed PC. Well, he ain't removed on fucking YouTube. Oh, no. I don't know. Interesting. You could see, I just kind of want to show a little bit of why this dude is the way he is, why he makes content the way he does. Again, I want you guys to know this dude is a troll. He's trolling the whole lifestyle of California and the troll and the gangbang community. And it's obvious, and I think a lot of people know, right? And you know, again, I like to remind anybody that feels the way I do, he's not going anywhere, bro. He's just only going to double down. I know I've seen somewhere, and I know that he left the state. Well, I shouldn't say that. I know he's not in the state. I think it's in his content, right? I think he's said what he's been through, and he doubles down. Bringing up Savage Studios ain't going to do nothing. I mean, it's interesting, the archetype of him and PC John. One's living a facade, holding on, or so we think, to what he never was. And then this guy is just spitting on the face of what he once was, where he made the mistake. Should have checked with your big homie. Should have never ran that yard. Now look at you. And you double down by making fun of everything and just getting this moolah, right? Well, I'm going to try to at least get 30 cents a month farming you fucking pesetas, right? Somebody's got to do it, man. I mean, it's been done before, but let's just keep it going. I'm going to be consistent at it. Or I'll just be another guy saying the truth. But I want to at least make 30 cents off of it in monetization, right? Let's get these fucking pesetas. So let's take a look at another clip.
My celly got on me. And
Yeah.
then I tried to lie about it to the cops and signed the chrono, go back. They let me do it the second time, but as soon as I got upstairs, my celly, that I guess he was either, like I said, working out or bird bathing.
Yeah.
He was already told to take off on me. So we started fighting on the tier, and he tried to throw me off the tier, and I held the bars like this the whole fight. I didn't even fight to do it. I just held the bars like I didn't want to get thrown off the second tier. That's pretty high.
Hell yeah.
So he beat on me pretty good. He left my whole face right here swollen. And he just got a battery on me, and that's when the administration says, "Well, look, man, that's not once, but that's twice, bro. So we're not gonna put you back there."
Yeah, and I've told people several times it's people automatically assume, and that's where that stigma comes. Oh, PC checked in. No. When you're removed, man, the Blackers know everything that went down, who was involved, why it went down. They know more than we know. And what they're gonna do is
he was holding on to the bars like this, so he's twice removed. Said he was bird bathing or working out, and he still got hands put on him. He said he was 5'2", little man syndrome, right? Come on, man. Napoleon, huh? The PC Napoleon. This is why he does his rage bait content. This is why he does it, guys. He's bitter. He's angry. And they use the facade of being noble. Oh, I changed my life around. Well, this guy does. I changed my life around. I'm only giving you the dangers of the gangbang. All while he's mocking all those people. It's a guy who went to jail for shooting at a school bus, bro. It was a crash out on the streets. It's a fucking lame. He's 3 times a PC. I don't know who's worse, him or Dubs. I think Dubs is, because he's just a fucking liar. Won't admit it. He's got denial, This fucking guy is like, I'm double down. I'm a troll. He has to know it. I don't know. He doesn't. I don't know. He portrays himself to be well-spoken and intelligent, and no, you're just living life as a PC on YouTube, and I want to be the one that milk you for it and get some monetization and some views and watch hours off all of you. Real soon, I'm gonna give you the landscape of the what I've mapped out, the virtual YouTube yada. There's going to be, we'll check it out. So, you were beat up. You were removed. You were thrown off the tier like a prison movie. You became somewhat of the movies you watched. You got thrown over a tier. You got your fucking face bashed in. You got lumped up. And then you became something far more worse. Let's watch a clip.
How do you get involved with the Northern Rider movement?
Well, in 2011, my cousin got killed on the streets by the homies from my own hood for not paying NF taxes. My cousin's never been to prison, so he didn't know none of the politics that I knew. And I wasn't there to lace him up, and that was my fault. But he got into a bad situation where he got divorced and he went back to the streets. He needed to make some money. So he knew what to do. But he knew his best thing to do was to sell some dope and get on his feet. And they tried to tax him, and he didn't know nothing about NF territories and NF properties. So he was like, I ain't paying these youngsters nothing. Well, they wind up beating them and shooting them. That's when it was already around that time when I was getting removed, not even 9-10 months later. Yeah. Once I put 2 and 2 together in my head, when you're lost in that transition, going from active and SNY, not only was I lost, I'm losing my whole career over a couple of charges that could have been avoided over them believing my explanations to, man, my own people just took out my own cousin over some stupid tax that he had nothing to do. He was just trying to raise his kid and get his kid a fucking Happy Meal. And put those 2 together, you develop hate. So when I crossed over to the other side, I looked at the movement as they're against the Northerners. Once I joined,
being oppressed.
That was my purpose. I was like, I'm gonna join this one because now I got hate towards this group, and I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna cause ruckus. Yeah. I'm gonna utilize this title and believe in this belief system, due to the anti-bullying and oppression belief system that we incorporated, I'm gonna come at the Northerners.
And it
But
was in the
Remember the
beginning.
resentment from earlier where he said he was from the Central Valley and then the Bay Area, the Norte, didn't look at them as like norteños, right? The Farmero and the Bay Area and all that, okay, right? So he already has resentment towards the Northern Territory. Then he says here in this clip what he felt was politics. And at this point, he's removed and he feels maybe responsible. There's anger here. There's anger built on a lot of these pesetas, I believe. I think on the YouTube, Yarda, there's pesetas, there's dropouts, and there's SNYs. And I'm going to break that down on another occasion, right? I just kind of referenced it. So this dude is bitter, bro. This dude is he's traumatized, man. And guys and people out there, you know, I did my time with multiple people from the last video that Gunners is reacting that an area, a city in LA called San Pedro. You know, I did time with a lot of those dudes, man, and you know, I'm not gonna say their names. Solid Southsiders, transferred from Tehachapi Hole with one to High Desert. We stayed on the yard till I went home. It was a good dude. Actually, my mom took up his mom to go visit because, again, my mom lived in Torrance. They lived in San Pedro. They hadn't seen him in a while. It was a long drive. My mom took both his parents up there about twice, bro. And we were locked down half the time in High Desert. I got a lot of, I went to welding school with a homie that grew up in San Pedro. I traveled cleaning refineries with homies that grew up in San Pedro. I went to meetings with an older homie from San Pedro. So, you know, Southsider stuff, bro, you know, and he wants to make fun of, you know, the area I'm from and shit. So, well, fine. Then I'll do this. And, you know, it's a good thing these bigger pesetas feel their way up here. Because regardless, you come on. Debating with these guys or back and forth type with these dudes. Remember, any homie, and I think any goes for the same for the Territory, that goes the same for the Northern Territory, are better than these dudes by tenfold. Even if they did 3 months on a DUI in the county jail in Northern or Southern California, they come home, they're better than these pieces of shit. All of them, all the pesetas, and we'll get there. Let's watch the last clip because I'm getting this in really, really late. Or late in the day.
Not being looked at as trash, basura, PCs, drug addicts. Let's become men, the men that we're supposed to be.
All right, that's a quick one there. That's a quick clip. My time is limited. So, PC warlord J Lame removed some faction of Peseta gang, dropped out of that, and now he's a bitter troll on YouTube. You know, big channel, free to say whatever he wants, plays a game of cat and mouse with people on the internet, being disrespectful and to, you know, entities that don't exist that he probably shouldn't be. This is just, you know, it is what it is, man. And so, you know what, look, dude and dudettes, if he's going to get his views off doing that, then I, Bams, will get my views off pesetas like him. It is what it is, man. I don't give a shit. It is what it is. And you know what? I'm pressed for time where I like to go. I could have gone in a way a bit more analytical, but I don't have much time, so I'm just going to leave it here. I don't know when I'm going to put this out. But we'll watch PC, warlord of the PCs, right? We'll watch him. Like, we'll watch King of the PCs, PC John. and we'll watch them. I think these two are the fucking the most hated, I believe. I think so. Skinner, I've seen Skinner's history, man. Skinner has gone through it. All of them have been exposed or put in lies or hypocrisy multiple times, you know. But you know, Skinner was honest, just like fucking, you know, PC Lame. Excuse me, Jay Lame, and he was thrown over a tier. You know, it's funny to me, dude. It's funny to me. So it is what it is. You know, look, this is what it is. This is what it's gonna be. Again, I got some ideas coming. I don't know where I'm at right now, but if I come back from vacay or during vacay, if I get 500, I'm going live. And if I get 500, I'll just do a quick little video on how I think I'm going to go live and what day. I know this, I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys, right? Then of West Coast time. So if when I'm on vacay, I get the 500, I'll come back, do a quick little video, and then say when I'll go live. And we'll see what happens, man. I think I could have done better with this video, but you know, by the time I see it, by the time I get out to where I gotta be, I don't have much time. I'm lucky. My wife let me sneak away to do this. All right, Southsiders up. Respect to the whole lifestyle, and you know, hey, a moment of silence for the alcoholic and addict who still suffers.